All right, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. Today we're going to run through a video talking about why your inversions fail, and then I'm going to go through this trade recap from this PM trade that I took. Executions are in the Discord. I'll explain why I took this with a micro. If you guys didn't see the TikTok video I already talked about, but let's go over this inversion play that a lot of people probably took, and I've seen a few people take this trade. It was the 2-minute inversion at 9:46. Now, if you guys seen the inversion videos I made, go to my education playlist. I have a couple videos where I go over inversions. This is a textbook inversion. If it had no context, this is a textbook inversion. Now, what makes it a textbook inversion? Price displaces aggressively through it in like one candle. That's what you want to see with an inversion. If an inversion, like, that's a quality inversion where it takes like 1 to 3 candles to inverse and the candle is strong and displaces through. Now, what's wrong with this inversion and why did it displace the other way or fail? And this is where I caught my short. And the reason has to do with higher time frame context. Now, what did we have today? Today, we obviously overnight, we had a huge push to the upside, and I'm pretty sure most people expected this 4-hour gap, this bearish gap or bullish gap, to get rebalanced before a move higher. Price is not just going to continue to go up without rebalancing this 4-hour gap. So coming into morning session, obviously if longs presented itself, I was willing to take them, but I'm pretty sure we all knew that this gap was going to get rebalanced sometime today, right? So what happens today? Market opens up. If you guys see my trade recap, I'm not going to go over it. Market opens up, manipulates down, and then I take this short. And in the process of this short, what happens? We get this 2-minute inversion. Now, why do I not long this? Okay. Number one, we have an SMT against this. You could see that NQ fails to take out this high. ES takes out this high. Okay. That's number one. Number two, why do I not take this? Let's put the replay tool back on. Okay. Let's put the replay tool on here. What am I doing? Okay. This is what the long looks like, or where people longed, right here. Now, if this was a higher, like if we were displacing towards a buy side draw, this is, like I said, a textbook inversion. Let's just say, for example, we were delivering off a 15-minute bullish gap. We had to draw higher at London high, and we got this 2-minute inversion. I would take this 10 out of 10 times. What's wrong with this trade? Besides the SMT, we left relative equal lows with this hourly low, okay? With this hourly low right here. What's below that hourly low? The massive unfilled 4-hour gap that everybody pretty much assumed that price was going to get rebalanced into, and including myself, and it ended up, getting rebalanced. Now, is taking longs when you're so close to edging the main objective a good idea? No. Why? Because even though you think you're going to get the reversal, there is a high probability that it will fail and price will come down, manipulate into that objective that it truly wants, right? Now, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say don't take inversions after a higher time frame important draw that you know is going to be the main objective for the day, especially when it's a higher time frame gap like this. Don't try to catch the reversal after we haven't tapped it. I understand if we tap the 4-hour and you tried to take the 2-minute inversion to the upside, that's totally fine. But when we had this huge pump to the upside all night, you have to assume that this 4-hour is going to get rebalanced, right? So I would never take an inversion or an entry when we're this close to the main objective. And again, the main objective today was this 4-hour unfilled gap. And what happens after the inversion? Boom. Price dumps down, and this is where I ended up catching my short off this 1-minute close right there. So your inversions will fail like this when you're not pairing them with higher time frame context. In this case, the higher time frame context was that we needed to rebalance this 4-hour gap because we pushed so aggressively up during Asia. You should have expected that price was going to want to tap this 4-hour, and it wasn't just going to edge it, right? Now, if you truly wanted to long, how could you have played this differently? Well, if you were going to long, what would your draw be? Your main draw here is going to be this 9:30 candle wick that was put in at market open. So how could you play this? If you did truly think we were going to go up and edge this low, this is what you'd want to do. You'd want to wait for price to displace towards that 9:30 wick, give you a retrace, and then look to enter. Why? Because at that point, it would have broken above this lower high. Think about simple market structure, right? Low, lower high, lower low. At this point, we're still in a downtrend until this lower high gets broken above. So if you truly wanted to long here, you would want to see price break above the lower high and then displace towards this draw, which is going to be the main draw, retrace into a gap, displace out of the gap, and then boom, target that 930 wick. But to try to catch the reversal after edging the 4-hour unfilled gap and edging this hourly low is not something that you should be doing. And this is why you need to have higher time frame context with your inversions. Again, mechanically, this is a great inversion. We inverse the gap in like one candle, strong displacing close, but we left these equal lows, relative equal lows with the higher time frame 4-hour gap. This is something you can't do. You always want to avoid taking trades after a higher time frame objective has been edged, because there's a high probability that price is going to go against you, and especially when the trend is bearish still. If this lower high, like I said, got broken above, retrace, that would have been your long setup right there. But that's it for this play. Again, guys, just use higher time frame context. See if we're near any draws of the opposing way that would probably keep you out of this trade. But technically, again, these are the inversions you want to look for, but you don't want to be taking them in this context. Now I'm going to run through this PM trade that I took, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I took this with 1 micro, which sounds really stupid, but there's a reason, okay? So I took this with 1 micro because this morning when I caught this trade, that was on my Lucid accounts. Then on my top step accounts, I already have a big buffer built on these accounts. So I was like, I'm going to try to hit a winning day, and I'm going to treat this like a forward test. So I'm really going to run 1 micro. I was about to go to the gym. I just happened to hop on the charts at the right time, and I seen this play out. I was like, I'm going to take this with 1 micro. Worst case, I lose like $100. Best case, I end up hitting this trade, and it ends up netting me a winning day, like $200 on the account. I don't really care. So I set this, and then I just set alerts at TP and SL. I never went break even. I just have this here for just to kind of show you guys. But it ended up playing out, secured the winning day, and puts me another day closer to another top step payout. So that's 2 out of 5 days on the top step payout since my last payout. But anyway, I'm going to run through this trade. This is actually a great trade. I've seen some people actually take this. So after tapping the 4-hour gap, I said one of two things. We can either see price trade all the way through this 4-hour gap towards the CE or the midpoint, or we could see some type of relief bounce reversal out of this 4-hour gap. Now, right now, it seems like we're actually just continuing to dump lower, but I was fortunate enough to catch a little bit of this move back to the upside after dumping so aggressively. So market opens up and dumps all the way down. We take out London. We fill the first 4-hour unfilled. We filled the second unfilled 4-hour. We take out Asia low, and what happens from there? We actually get an internal S&T within this 4-hour gap. So as you can see, NQ fails to fill this 1-hour unfilled. So within the 4-hour, we have an unfilled 1-hour. So you can see NQ fails to take it out right here, and it fails to sweep out this 7 p.m. candle. And if you look at ES fills this 1-hour, and it also sweeps that 7 p.m. candle. And we have a bullish S&T within a higher time frame 4-hour gap. Okay, from there, scale down. Okay, and what are we looking for? We're looking for something to confirm bearish to bullish. So first of all, if you break down on the 1 minute, we do break structure on the 1 minute, because as you can see, low, lower high, lower low, and then we break structure. So we're looking for a retrace and the flip of the trend, right? Simple market structure, which I think a lot of people neglect now. Because they're just trading inversions. You need to be using market structure as well. So price comes up and it taps into and starts respecting this 3-minute bullish gap right here. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we broke structure on the 1 minute. We're delivering out of a higher time frame 4-hour gap after dumping. We have low resistance liquidity above. We have a bullish S&T. There's a high probability that I can at least catch this move right here to take out all this LR. So again, price is respecting this 3-minute gap. What am I doing? I'm looking for an entry to confirm bullish order flow. So this is my entry right here, 3-minute inversion. This is on the 11-12 candle if you guys want to go back and look. So again, SMT, we're delivering off a 4-hour gap. We're expecting out of a 3-minute bullish gap. We get a 3-minute inversion to the upside. So this is where I take my entry. I get filled at 25.023. Stop below the 3-minute wick there, because at this point, if price is going to come down there, it's probably just going to keep dumping, but we should be good if it continues from here. We do sit in some chop for a bit, and I was supposed to target this high, which was the top of the low resistance liquidity, but I accidentally dragged the TP a little bit higher, so I got pretty fortunate that I didn't get, price sweep and then come down. So I got exited at 25.115. So it was like just under $200 in this trade. Like, it was nothing crazy. But again, delivering off a higher time frame 4-hour gap, bullish S&T within the 4-hour gap. 1 minute shifted from bearish to bullish. Again, we break structure on the 1 minute. We're getting a retrace. You look on the 3-minute. delivering out of a 3-minute bullish gap, 3-minute inversion to the upside, target all of this low resistance liquidity, and luckily we catch the rebalance. And again, what I like too was that ES had equal highs. I think it was lower time frame equal highs right here. Let me see if it pops up on the see. So at this point, I had very high confidence that price was going to come up and tag those out, and luckily ended up hitting belows at the gym, and we secure another winning day. So can't complain about hitting a winning day. I treat this more of like a forward test again. If I lost this trade, I didn't really care. It was like $100. So that's it for me, guys. Again, went over the inversions, went over this trade recap, but that's it for me, guys. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.